Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Samp&Chance. This week we are going to talk about Edge. You thought you knew him. Edge is all elite. All this plus Raw and our predictions for Fastlane this Saturday on this episode of Samp&Chance. So everybody strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson. Joined with me, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, man? Looking colorful. What's their shirt today?
Doing really well. How about you? Oh, I just wanted old Muay Thai shirts.
Oh, okay. It looks like a video game cover I used to play called Yakuza.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's the Muay Thai in-laws bought me a couple back when they went to Thailand or whatever there.
Nice. Have you been to Thailand?
I've never been there, no.
Oh, okay. Nor have I. But anyways, brother man, did you see what happened this Sunday?
I did. I was watching football, but I heard about it, yeah.
Wow, hey, did you expect that or did it kind of catch
you?
They
were talking about it for a couple of weeks that he was coming out the big show. It was rumored, so I wasn't that much of a shock. That's the thing that you can't hide much anymore. Everything gets leaked out nowadays, right? So
yeah.
I guess cool for the fans that were in attendance in Seattle. It was just down the road from us.
Well, no doubt. I mean, from that standpoint, any type of debut is always fun, right? I mean,
if you're live,
regardless. I mean, it's a debut is a debut. What are you going to do? Pardon me, I'm cracking this can. There we go. But at the end of the day, what do you make of it though? Like, what do you? I don't know.
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that great. Well, I think we're the Edge is a Hall of Famer. He's had a great career, but now all of a sudden, as soon as he shows up, I've never heard anybody call Edge an all-time, like one of the GOATs. Now everybody's saying he's one of the GOATs because he came to AEW. So I don't know where that came from. He's an old man. Like he's still old. He's got a bad neck. He's got a few more matches in him. Said he wants to wrestle or join up with Christian and wrestle Jericho and all those guys. So I guess he's almost 50. He's 49. I mean, well, he still looks good for his age, but it's like they got to put some young guys over and develop some young characters with a mix of the old guys. But
yeah, I completely agree with you. I think, I mean, from the one perspective, I understand why he's doing it. I mean, if you look at his answers and the way he was explaining himself, not that he has to explain himself, right? I mean, he's done everything there is to do. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But I did feel he was taking shots at the WWE in the press conference, right? I mean, maybe tongue-in-cheek, maybe not, but regardless.
No, I was throwing a couple light jabs at Triple H. Triple H just started to get some people starting to jab him a little bit now, right? Yeah, Edge is jabbing him a bit. Rick Boogs is jabbing him a bit.
Well, here's the deal, man. When Edge came back, Vince was still in charge. Right? When Edge came back, Vince was in charge. Triple H had nothing to do. He was working NXT at the time when he came back, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think about all those things. They signed the contract with Edge for 10 matches a year. I mean, that was the contract. Now, I think the other part of this is like, he was saying a lot of the same things in the presser that Daniel Bryan was saying that, I wasn't getting an opportunity, this and that. Like, I feel I can go. Well, here's a case of two guys, Edge more so longer than Daniel Bryan, being on the shelf for almost a decade.
I know.
So your body, from that perspective, yes, you're almost 49, you're almost 50. But your body, I guess, hasn't gone through the bumps and the mat hits and whatnot, so you kind of are a bit refreshed, right?
Well, I think that's the thing with Vince, with Edge, and with Daniel Bryan. They got the bad necks. Guys are in the mid-40s. Edge is almost 50. When they get older, man likes to push you out. It's a young man's game, and Vince knows that better than anybody. Yes, he keeps some older guys around, but guy's almost 50 with a bad neck. You watch Edge. When he moves, you can see like he still moves good, but he walks and moves like an old man in there.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them. They probably didn't want to pay him what he wanted, and they let him go. So, but Edge he'll go to the Hall of Fame. He'll come back. He ended on fairly good terms. So,
well, he's already in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's what I mean. They already put him in, but he'll come back. I mean, like he'll be around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to me that like I want to wrestle full time. Like, what? Well, I'm sure WWE could have facilitated it if they wanted to, but here's my thinking on it.
They won't let him go full time. He's too old.
But this is the reason I think about it, and I think we talked about this off air a little bit. And I come back to Jerry Lawler. What happened to him, and ultimately, I think that was a catalyst that kind of really turned the tide for the WWE. Again, publicly
Yeah.
traded company. There's a lot on the line if someone gets really, really hurt and what have you. So, I mean, they're doing their own due diligence, in my opinion, in protecting these athletes. If they feel they can go, then yeah, go somewhere else and go, because we can't take that responsibility. That's my take of it. Yours?
Yeah, I agree. That's part of it. Absolutely. It's part of it. I think it's a combination of many, many things. He's almost 50. You got to open up it for younger guys that get that edge spot. I mean, how long can he have the top spot where he wants to wrestle full time? His body can't handle full time. I hate to say it, he's going to find it out pretty soon if he's wrestling full time.
Well, let's find out. Like I said, he starts Wednesday. He's going to be at Dynamite, cutting a promo. Apparently, he's going to go up against Luchasaurus. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So that's going to happen. So, I mean, he's got his wish. I mean, he did say that, he was close to retiring, but he feels that he can still go. He feels he can still contribute. There's guys that he's never worked with. I mean, ironically, you would have thought, well, maybe not, but Samoa Joe is one guy he wants to work with. Another guy would be Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara, whatnot. But these guys are young. But I mean, I guess time will tell how much he can handle, right? On a week
to me, when I think of AEW, Edge, I know he's had a great career at WWE. To me, Edge is the perfect AEW guy. He's got the body, the kind of thing they go for. He's hot with indie guys. Like, he's more of an AEW guy, even though he cut his teeth in WWE and became a Hall of Famer there. To me, people like Daniel Bryan and Edge, to me, are more AEW guys than WWE guys. Just the style.
How often has Daniel Bryan been injured since he's joining AEW?
I don't know the exact amount of times.
Well, I'm just saying it's enough. It's enough for me to want to ask you that question and hoping you'd have an answer, right?
I don't have the exact number.
No, neither do I. But I'm saying, at least off the top of my head, I can say at least 3 to 4 times in the time that he's there, concussion, whatnot. Because I mean, they're not going easy on each other. Like it's almost a shoot fight in some of these cases and some of these storylines. Like it's just
they go hard. I wish Edge the best. He's a good guy and he's had a great career, but at 50, you need to keep pushing the line. I guess he feels he does. So
I guess the one benefit he has is it's just maybe TV twice a week. There's no house shows. There's nothing, right? So, I mean, you come and cut a promo. You might have a match one week, but I don't know. We'll find out. I guess we'll see what the stories are, what they're going to do with him, and how he's going to fit in. Right now, he's kind of in a mid-card program, if you ask me, with Christian and whatnot. But not shitting on any of it. It's just, just kind of like, wow, makes no sense to me personally.
I think it's being way overhyped. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in the ratings. Maybe the first Dynamite, after a while, it'll fade right back down.
The only
Edge is not a needle mover. Let's be honest. Like, he's got a great career. He's not a big draw. He just isn't.
Yeah. Now, my question is, when they end up in Toronto, because they're in Toronto a lot, will he wrestle in Toronto? He says he'll never, but he says he'll never wrestle in Toronto again.
He'll just like Flair and Michael said they were retired. Money talks.
Michael stayed retired for a long time, man. I think he was really, really pushed into that match. He didn't even want to do it.
Still did it though. So did Flair, right? So these guys, it's like with Tyson. These guys always retire, but at the end of the day, it's all about the money for all these guys.
All right, brother man, let's move on from that. Congratulations to Edge. I hope nothing but the best for him. I hope his neck holds out. I hope he has a great run there. But ultimately, it's just another example of the old man going to the other side. And you look at the average age of the roster in WWE, I totally see it, man. I can totally see your point. It's a young man.
You're young, you're fit. Way more older guys in AEW. Way more.
For sure. All right, my man. Let's move over to the big show, I guess, the big times. WWE Fastlane this Saturday. Slow build, not many matches. I think we got 5 total matches for the card. But before we go there, why don't we just talk about the go home Raw? Did you catch any of it?
I did. Yeah, it was okay. Nothing special.
I thought the opening was really fun. And just the way it all kind of just, Shayna and Nia fighting out to the ring sort of a deal, and having Raquel come in, and then having Rhea show back up, right? So everyone's back into the mix again. That was really fun. It's every woman for themselves. No one was really a friend. There was really no teams there. I mean, in essence, 3 heels and 1 face.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So, I mean, a good start to the program. Otherwise, I mean, then you had the Judgment Day come out, and, Mommy's kind of taken over again. And, was it Jay who said that, it looks like, we have a tribal chief here on Raw, referring to Mommy, saying she's got the biggest balls out of everyone.
Yeah.
She didn't really she didn't really kind of, you know, disagree with it either, though, if you looked at her.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good line.
Right. So that kind of led into, you know, I don't know what else happened on Raw that stood out in your mind.
Nothing really, man. I thought it was an average show at best. Like, I mean, every show can't be good. You bring a lot of shows. I thought nothing really stood out to me. Just a little bit of a build for Fastlane, which is
Yeah.
not one of the top branded pay-per-views. So, I mean, it should be decent. They put John Cena on the show, so that'll help it put it over the top.
Well, I think SmackDown will get more hyped up for it after SmackDown, I guess. I mean, Raw itself, Alpha Academy against Kaiser and Giovanni from Imperium. They get the win there. What else happened on Raw here tonight? I don't have my notes.
Ciampa was out there.
Yeah, Ciampa. See, here's where I got confused. I thought this would have been a great match for the pay-per-view. There's only 5 matches listed for this card, right?
Yeah, that's right. Only 5 so far.
Neither the US title, I believe, isn't being on that card, nor is the Intercontinental title now, considering that they had it last night. Good match. No issues with the match at all. But I mean, I would have rather seen it on the pay-per-view. Your thoughts on the other titles not getting shine on there, man?
I think that nowadays the fans, they don't really care about the belts that much. Besides the heavyweight belt and a couple belts, I think the matches are good. It's the people they like. They don't really care. Like Seth Rollins says, does anybody care about wins and losses anymore? Not really. It's all about those flash moments, special moments, put you over the top, viral moments. So I don't think it matters if some of the belts are on the line. I don't think anybody will even bat an eye at that. The hardcore guys with the regular Joe doesn't care. The younger fans, I don't think they mind.
How about Seth's promo from last night? Did you catch it?
I did, yeah.
The one with Michael Cole?
I did.
Did you see did you read between the lines when he was talking about manipulators and puppets?
Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was a good promo. It was one of his best in a while.
Right. But what I'm saying is read between the lines. Who said that first? Who talked about being manipulators and puppets?
I don't know who said that first.
CM Punk.
Did he? Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't hear. I don't pay much attention to CM Punk talk. So
I just remember that was from the pipe bomb promo that he did in Ring of Honor. One of them, anyways. But it's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's just kind of opening a door or if it's just making a guy like me start to think that, oh, maybe Punk is coming back.
He might come back for a couple matches. They'll retire him. Like one match I didn't understand on Raw is Ivar versus Xavier Woods. Like that match shouldn't even be on Raw. Those two guys,
the program is between the Viking Raiders and you know the New Day, but it looks like
I know. This is your flagship show, and you're gonna watch those two guys wrestle. Like that's when I see that. I want to flip over Monday Night Football for that. I think those guys don't excite me one-on-one. Maybe it's a tag team I'll watch it, but being honest, like come on.
Well, like I said,
like it's the reality of it. Some of these guys on the main roster to me look like NXT guys that should still be down there, I think.
Yeah. Well, dude, like I said, I mean, we've talked about this before. Should Raw really be a 3-hour program?
No. I know why they do it. It's too much. You don't have enough.
If it's a 3-hour program, that's what you're going to get, right? I mean, that's why I think SmackDown works so well. It's 2 hours. It's, you know, go. The promos are quick. The matches are not quick, but I mean, they're done well to fit that time. You get all the things that you want out of that program. I think I leave SmackDown more satisfied than I do Raw most nights because I feel, I mean, if you watch it back, if you know, sometimes if you DVR it or something and watch it back, you can notice that an hour of that program is just promos.
Well, I find when I DVR Raw and I've watched going through it for the show and stuff, I'm fast forwarding through a lot of stuff. And I stop just because I have to watch it for the show. But some of that stuff is absolutely boring. Some of the promos are uninspired. They need better creative. They need better writers.
Eventually,
some of the talent just aren't that great on the mic, and they just need some more creative minds back there. I don't know who that would be, but somebody that's back there, some more creative stuff. Get something new, like some of these factions, some of these matches. I find them quite dull.
Well, let's find out, man. One day at a time. Let's see what they do. I mean, with the new regime,
I just always look back to the ratings, and you got when Raw used to have 5 million, you've now around to 2 million people. So where do those 3 million people go? You know where they went? UFC and Monday Night Football. Because they're just losing the average guy, right? So that's the problem. They got to have more creative moments, more guys that look like stars to kick average Joe back. Wrestling's still popular, but not what it was.
That 3 million that you're talking about is you and me and the guys that are our age that were watching it at its prime of the Attitude Era, right? So I mean,
absolutely.
You know, so you think about it, a lot of those guys that were watching alongside us then, yeah, we stayed in the stands and, you know, continued
Mhm.
watching. But a lot of them left after, you know,
But I think even if you would have
PG.
like back when we were in our 20s, like every yeah, I love wrestling, it's cool. Now, if you would take 120-year-old kids, you maybe get 10 of them that would admit it was cool, and I bet you 80 of them love the UFC more. You know what I mean? It's the way the society is.
I think kayfabe has a lot to do with it. I think that curtain call
Yeah.
has a lot to do with it as well, in my opinion. Just
Mhm.
having that happen and kind of pulling the fourth wall down, so to speak, kind of changed the impression of a lot of people. So
Yeah.
technology as well, social media, all of it. I mean, you can't really hide from anything. Nothing is a surprise.
That's the
Nothing is
thing.
a
The edge
shock,
thing, we
right?
all knew who's coming, right? It's
Right?
still cool if you're live, but
Like, to be honest, when Hogan turned, if you didn't watch it on the show itself, I don't think maybe YouTube was in its infancy,
no, it
right?
wasn't even around then.
Right. So none of it existed. Is if you didn't watch the show, you would have to read the dirt sheets, you know, the next morning or a couple hours after the fact to find out
Yeah.
what happened, right? And then you'd have to wait a month for the fucking video to come to the video store
Yep.
to rent it, to see it firsthand. So, I mean,
Yeah. True.
it just all these kind of things kind of play a role in it all, right? So it's just
Yeah.
so easy. It's like I was telling a friend of mine yesterday, it's like, you don't understand, man. Like, he's a younger guy.
Mm.
You have no clue how easy you guys have it. If you're out shopping, you know, and your favorite show's coming on, you don't worry about it like we used to. Because I
Mm.
mean, at that time, you know, just for the younger listeners, just keep in mind, TV was the only thing we had. When
Yeah.
that show came on, you saw it and that was it. And you were lucky to see it again, maybe in the summer when they did reruns. But wrestling wasn't like that, right? I mean, if you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah. That's
Done.
it. Too bad for you, pretty
Right?
much.
Ironically enough, I went back the other night because I didn't see a Saturday night's main event because, you know, we were out that night and I was too little to stay home. But I went back and watched it last week, you know, because
Yeah.
it's available. So just an example.
Yeah. You can watch whatever you want, DVR it, stream it.
So it's a different kind of ball game. So I don't know how they gauge how many people watch it still. You know what I mean? Because so many more people probably watch it taped. So many people watched it delayed. So I
But
don't know.
even if you DVR, it still counts as a view because you still got to hit on the channel, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But if you're just setting the recording, how does your thing know? You know what I
And
mean? Like,
knows what channel you got it on.
yeah.
The thing is that people will say, well, the athletes are better. Sure, maybe they can run and jump higher than they used to back in the 90s, early 2000s, but that was the golden era as far as TV, the cast of characters, the writers, some of the best creative WWE writers ever were there at the time. Same with WCW. Just they caught lightning in a bottle, basically, right?
Bro, there was
And
only two writers, Pat Patterson and Vince McMahon, and they did everything beside the pool.
no. Then you had the Vince Russo guys that came out.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like this. They caught lightning in a bottle and had the right talent, the right place, right time. Wrestling got hot, and
Well, I think the one mistake, and I'll
yeah.
still stand to this, I think the only mistake, in my opinion, that they ever made was going PG.
Well, you had to, right? Because the advertisers, you had no choice.
No, I mean, they did have a choice. They were a private company, and because of their ratings and everything that they have going on, even to this day, on the USA Network, on Fox, it's still the highest rated program on television
On that Friday.
on that Friday and on that Monday, except when football's
No. My
on.
football kills it.
Except when football's on, right? But without football, from that September to February, yeah, that's the only competition, right?
But
But
the reason why McMahon went public is so he could make more money, generate more revenue, right? He's all about the dollars. So if he had to go from rated R to PG, he's going to do it, right?
No, I get it. But I think that was probably one of the biggest.
Yeah, it hurts him because he can't do what he wants to do. McMahon's best when he's writing a rated R show. That's what he that's the kind of mind he has, right? And he's got to go PG. You're limited.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to call it R-rated or anything like that. It didn't have to be that.
14 and up.
PG-13 or 14, whatever, right? I mean, that's all you needed. But all right, man. Well, we're going into Fastlane. So we have Fastlane lined up here. Here's what we know. Okay, so let's start with this one. John Cena, LA Knight against the Bloodline, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa. Where do you see this going, man?
I see. I think John Cena, LA Knight got the W on this match. Should be a good match. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking it should
it's
be
not for any belts or anything, so I don't see why they wouldn't let John Cena and LA Knight get the win. Big moment for LA Knight. Team up. They're actually almost the same age. That's a funny thing about John Cena and LA Knight because LA Knight's so old now. But I think they're going to be a good match, and I think Knight and Cena take the W, man. What do you think?
I'm in agreement with you. The only thing I was thinking about is like, okay, how's this going to play out in the Bloodline storyline? They're finally starting to find a groove again. They're finding their dynamic. You know, they're starting to storyline wise. I mean, right? You know, just like you
Yeah,
feel that there's some continuity there. Roman hasn't been around for a minute, right? So
yeah.
you know, it almost wonder, okay, if they lose this, does this bring Roman back?
Who I got a feeling that one of the other members of the family is going to come out and interfere in the match and get the win for John Cena and LA Knight. Kind of keep that going.
I believe you're right, but I'm thinking the other way. I think AJ Styles, I mean, I think he makes some sort of return. I think those guys come out somewhere here as well. Because my understanding is the next Roman program will be with AJ. So
Oh,
they
I
gotta
hope
fill
not.
time, right? They gotta fill
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I know. It could be.
Right? I mean, very similar to what they're doing at the other side, right? And we'll get
Yeah.
into that match as well. Last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the second one of the series now. They're building this really nice, man. I love this dark Shinsuke. I like what Seth is doing with it, selling at the back. Do
Mhm.
you think he drops it this time?
Absolutely not. Seth keeps the belt. He's not going to lose to Nakamura at Fastlane. That belt's too important. Nakamura is not going to be champ, I don't think, ever again. But if he is, it's not going to be at Fastlane. It's not an important enough pay per view, I don't think, for him to drop it to Nakamura. Seth gets the W. It should be a great match. Hard hitting, some good moves, some good props. But no, Seth all the way.
Yeah, I think Seth wins, but I think he wins barely.
Yeah, it'll be tough. It'll be
Just to keep it
arm over him, but
right. But just no, it's a last man
no,
standing.
I know. But I mean, it's going to be going to throw him down, get up, push him up, barely get his arm up. He'll win. He's not
Yeah,
going to lose
yeah.
it fast.
Because I mean, just the way they're selling the back and everything and whatnot, it'll be too just be too. It would just be a bad end to the story if he just dominated, right? So I think he's
He's not
gonna,
going to dominate, but he's going to get the W.
yeah, but barely. I feel it has to be done
Yeah.
to make the story work. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships are on the line. This match was made last night. Jay and Cody going against the Bloodline, man. Your thoughts?
Should be a good match. It should be a fun match. I'm not sure how this one will play out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's going to win this one. This one could be 50-50. I'm thinking maybe, I think maybe Bloodline takes it. Oh, sorry, Judgment Day is going to get the W, but it should be a good match. I don't know. I'm not sure on this one.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say Uso, Jay and Cody take it only to further the story. Hey, just put something on those two for Cody anyways. You know,
Yeah,
um,
give him something.
give him something. He needs something until we get to Mania, whatever that is, or whatever that looks like. Um, and I think just because again, I'm starting to see that, like the JD McDonough being a part of this now.
Yeah,
Speaking his piece as well. You know, that look that Rhea and JD had with Damien not looking. I think Damien's the odd man out here still. And Finn was even on Raw last night, right? So,
no.
so
You could be right that Cody and Jay get the belt. Something has to happen at
I
Fastlane,
think
right? It's not going to be set, so they got to have some sort of moment. So that could be it.
yeah, I think that's going to be the moment, and it's going to really build. Like I said, I think Damien's the odd man out here still. I really feel it. It's just building towards that, and just those sideways glances that they're sharing. You got to look at all of it. It's all a part of the story, right?
Yeah,
Just the matches are one thing, but I mean, most of that story is propelled by the promos and the looks. So just looking at those kind of things, I really feel like, I mean, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, nobody wanted him around. Now only Damien's the only guy who doesn't want him around.
yeah,
Right? Even Rhea's kind of bought into it, and she's been gone for 2 weeks.
yeah.
So,
She has a break for.
right. So, I mean, I just really have a feeling that we're kind of gonna get something. It might not be that night, but I can see the titles being lost. And just the things Damien said, hey, look, I got my gold, I got my briefcase. Where's
Yeah,
where's Dom's gold? Well, where was the blood? Or sorry, where was the Judgment Day to help him the way they've all helped each other?
yeah, yeah. You could be right. I think you're onto something.
Let's see. Let's find out. Triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka.
Io Sky retains, man.
You think Io retains?
I think so. I don't see her losing it at Fastlane in a triple threat match. But I could be wrong. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I think it's gonna be a cracker of a match. Just the three of them together, the way they all work, I think it's just gonna be a lot of fun. I'm not gonna say it's gonna steal the show, but I think that's one match that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Just looking at the card, I really don't know what match here would steal the show right now. I mean, we're
I
one.
think looking at it, I think just because John Cena's got a few more matches left, I think just that the aura of that and having him there with LA Knight, I think that might do it. It may not be the best match, but I think as far as emotions and stuff, that might be the one.
Emotion and crowd, I think that would be the loudest match, absolutely. But again, it's not something we'd call match of the night or anything like that.
Probably second, but who knows? It could be that 6-man tag match between a World Order or at the Street Profits. I'm looking forward to that match too. So you just never know how these
Well,
matches turn out, right?
LWO versus Bobby Lashley and Street Profits should be nothing but a wash. To be completely honest, ever since those guys came up from NXT, they just except for Ray and the other guy, Santos Escobar.
Cruz del Toro or
No,
Joe
Santos Escobar. Outside of those two, the tag team portion of them hasn't done anything. They've just been there
Well,
sacrificial lambs.
I don't even know why they brought back the LWO. LWO was never even really that great or popular back when they were doing it. I know why, but back in the 90s, they were never a hot crew. They were never the top crew. They were mid-card guys at best. And to bring that back, we got to call it something else. I think it's kind of cheesy to be honest.
I think at the time, because of the NWO and because of all the other WOs that kind of emerged after it, sort of, so you had the BWO, the Blue
No,
World.
I know why they did it, but I'm saying
Right?
why bring that now? Because they were the bottom crew.
It's kind of standalone. No one's kind of touching it, and it's merch. It's really the merch. People,
I know, but it was
brother,
never NWO or DX.
I get it. I get it.
The bottom crew.
You know this better than anyone else. You've seen it firsthand. Cena doesn't even have to be there, and he outsells everybody, right? So
Yeah, no, I get it. It's all the money, sell the LWO shirts, right? But
yeah, I mean, at the arenas, I mean, when I went down, were they formed in March or not? No, I can't recall. But anyways, you see a lot of their shirts in the crowd, like a lot of LA Knight shirts in the crowd, right? I mean, they may
yeah,
not.
it's the number one selling shirt right now.
It's insane to think about, right? Something so simple, but I mean,
LA Knight is the new Daniel Bryan with muscles and a little bit bigger. He's the feel good story, the underdog, the old man that could never make it. That finally he's getting his 5 minutes of fame, and it'll last longer than 5 minutes. But he's hot right now. People love to cheer for underdogs, especially the fans nowadays, especially the Generation Z and the millennials. They see the underdog, the guy that shouldn't be there, might not deserve to be there. We want to put him over the top. And LA Knight is a new Daniel Bryan.
fair play, fair play. All right,
I think he's kind of almost a copycat of Stone Cold and The Rock almost. He doesn't feel organic to me. I don't think there's much natural about him. He's got decent ability, but the way he does looks and moves, kind of like The Rock mixed with the Stone Cold, sort of. That's how I see him.
well, I mean, if he's a mix of both, it's working for him. People are buying into it, so he's got something, right?
Doing something.
So last match here that we know of, like you already mentioned it, LWO, Bobby Lashley, Street Profits. Yeah, I think it's going to be a squash match. I think this could have been done on TV. I think the Gunther Tommaso Ciampa match should have been the match that was on the pay-per-view, not this one. But hey, man, it is what it is. I guess that's just the way
it's a decent card. It's not great. Should be decent. Some of these cards that you don't look good on paper turn out to be better than the ones that do look good on paper. We'll find out on Saturday.
Well, like I said, it's a sleeper card, right? I mean, it could be really, really good. I mean, who knows? We'll find out this Saturday, like you said. All right, brother man, I tell you what, do you have anything for me? Top five?
I do, yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your top five, since I've been talking about him or his crew, your top five Rey Mysterio matches.
Oh man. Top five Ray matches. I would have to go Ray versus Eddie when they were in WCW at the cruiserweights. That was just phenomenal. Both guys were, kind of in their prime, so to speak.
I think Ray in his prime, he's like 20, but I know what you mean. The purple suit one, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good match. Another good Ray match I really enjoyed. I don't know if I enjoyed it or thought it was funny, but I just thought when Ray won the title the second time and then Cena beat him on Monday.
Yeah.
That was just kind of why. Just let him hold it for a little while. Ray versus Eddie in the cage match with Dominic on the line.
Yeah, that stands out.
Right? Ray winning the world title at WrestleMania in the triple threat.
Yeah, that's number one moment, yeah.
Right? That was awesome. And I would have to probably go and say Rey Mysterio. Oh, I can't think of another one, man. The only one that's coming to my mind, he's so many matches, right? The only other one that's coming to my mind is Ray and Dominic right now.
Yeah, with your top five, whatever you think it is. Yeah,
But definitely Ray versus Eddie in the steel cage. That's probably number one.
Yeah, there you go. Good list.
There you go. There you go. All right, brother man. I tell you what, why don't we wrap this one up here? We're going into Fastlane, so we'll check that out. We'll see what it's all about. Congratulations to Edge on being all the elite. Other than that, brother man, let's wrap up this Tuesday by saying my name is Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp&Chance. Everybody, please have a blessed rest of your week. Do what you got to do and relax and just take your time, man. That's it. Samp&Chance out.